I think that the build-up started off rocky, but it has developed into something interesting from the point of John Cena needing to prove to himself and to the fans or whatever that he can step in the ring and just compete with Brock Lesnar, let alone trying to win. He needs to prove that he's able to stand toe-to-toe with him to make it competitive. In no way am I able at this time to begin to describe how much Paul Heyman has contributed to this feud. I mean, I'm convinced that not only does he read Twitter when the show is going on, he has to listen to us too, because he addresses every fucking thing that we talk about. So the whole time that John Cena was dragging him back to the locker room and then dragging him out, talking about how he was going to whoop his ass, he brought up the bullying thing. He basically told John Cena to be a star like everybody on Twitter was telling him at the same damn time. So I so appreciate how much he is real. He lives in the world of reality. He addresses, he approaches his promos from a realistic standpoint. And, you know, it's been wonderful. Now, for the match. I thought the most funniest shit that happened on Raw was when Brock Lesnar stepped into that ring, they had a little scuffle, and he turned around and German suplexed him immediately. That shit had me cracking up. All of this anticipation that John Cena had to getting them in the ring and shit, and he just gets another German suplex. And then turn around, Brock Lesnar is paying attention, John Cena attacks him, gets a little bit of the better of him. What the fuck ever. If we were booking this from a realistic standpoint, Brock Lesnar will walk in the Night of Champions and beat the holy shit out of John Cena once again. Nothing happened in the feud to prove to me otherwise, but I am still eagerly anticipating the match just because it's Brock Lesnar and John Cena. So I can't begin to say whether or not they'll go in the direction that they should go, because like I said, Brock Lesnar should beat the piss out of him. But I'm anticipating it might be a little bit more competitive of a match because John Cena is apparently angry and hulking out or whatever. And I still go with Brock Lesnar to win this, though.
Yeah, going into this week, and I know I'm going to get a little bit of hate for this, going into this week, I was a lot more excited about this match than I came out of this week with. Because right off the bat, you had Cena coming out all lighthearted and making little jokes at Paul Heyman, and that just pissed me off right away. And then you go into the actual like segments themselves, and although Paul Heyman can work a mic with the best of them, this was the first week that I really started to think that he started just kind of repeating himself a lot. Like, he was bringing in different promos at the same time. Like, it wasn't the exact same promo, but it just kind of felt like we spliced a few promos together to make a little promo package that Paul Heyman was going to deliver this week. And I don't know, it just kind of felt like he was hitting on the old stuff and just not really giving me anything new this week. So I wasn't really feeling his promo. This was the only week that I've really felt this. And I hope this doesn't become a theme with Brock Lesnar being the champion, because I do believe he's going to hold on to this belt, and Cena shouldn't even have the glimpse of touching it this time, especially after the ass whooping he took last time. But I just wasn't really feeling it this week. I'm still excited, but just not as much.
So last week on the show, I said WWE is either intentionally booking John Cena to be foolish, or they're foolishly booking him. One of those things means that it's actually a part of the storyline. And like I said a few weeks ago on PWTR, it may be a situation where John Cena, it's not about him trying to prove to us that he can beat Brock Lesnar, but it's about him not accepting the fact that he can't beat Brock Lesnar. Now, on the other side of things, if they are just foolishly booking him, it means that some stupid shit is going on. I have come to the conclusion that it's not either or, it's actually both. Because we did see that being incorporated into the storyline on Monday Night Raw by the wrestling god, Paul Heyman. The dude is friggin' amazing. He is great at defining a narrative for a match and having that actually be the substance that goes into the build for a match. He did it masterfully on Monday Night Raw, and with him basically calling John Cena out on his hypocrisy, because last week, this was the guy that was fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. And then you fast forward 7 days. Well, we all know John Cena, he has these miraculous epiphanies in a week's time span anyway. So, but hey, this is another example of that. 7 days passed. You go from being truth, justice, American way, standing for the troops and the flag and the children and Make-A-Wish and all of that, to wanting to beat the hell out of a 49-year-old defenseless man who's not even an active competitor. So I was a little pissed off by that, but I'm glad to see that they actually worked it into the storyline. And Paul Heyman, he was like, this is the Cena that I want. And he's so great that he's sitting there and he's like, even if it takes me to be get my ass kicked at the end of the day, guess what? I'm right. So I'll take that ass kicking just for you to prove me right. That's great. Amazing. I love that. But here's my thing with John Cena. It's just stupid stuff that goes on with him that doesn't make any sense to me, and there's no consistency involved, because he goes from saying weeks ago, I'm going to beat Brock Lesnar's ass, to not connecting that with that promo from last week. That's why I said on the show, I thought the promo was impassioned. It was very strong, but it just did not fit into the mold of what they were trying to create, the story that they were attempting to tell with Brock Lesnar and John Cena heading into Night of Champions. And then this week, he flips the script once again, and he was out there actually being jovial and joking and things like that. Just pick a friggin' side and stick to that damn side. Stick to the side, because I'm tired of you jumping all over the place. As far as I'm concerned, there's no room for humor, and there's damn sure no room for honor when your opponent is Brock Lesnar. You're gonna have to go with that brute force, that strength, that aggression. What we saw after all of the shenanigans on Monday Night Raw, that's the kind of message that you should be attempting to send to Brock Lesnar. But that's not to say that we didn't run into a few issues before we got to that point. Because for John Cena to make this big deal about Brock Lesnar and calling him out for a fight, Brock Lesnar comes out, and what does John Cena do? He's standing in the ring. He's standing there as if he has something that Brock Lesnar wants. Who challenged who to a friggin' fight? Why didn't you get out of the ring and run and go jump his ass? And like I said, like, he's standing in the ring as if he has something that Brock Lesnar wants. Anything that Brock Lesnar could have possibly wanted from you, guess what? He took it already. Who has a world championship around their waist? And who got their ass kicked in the process of him getting that world championship around his waist? That's just another one of those things where it's like, pick a side and stick to it. If you are going to be aggressive, John Cena, then go after Brock Lesnar. Don't wait until he gets into the ring and then Mr. Honorable, stand-up, upstanding citizen, you attack him while he's getting in the friggin' ropes. And then you attack him from behind also. So yeah, it's just little stupid stuff like that that could have easily been avoided. Don't wait for him to come to you like shit. You have something to offer him. He took everything you had to your name at SummerSlam. And then some.
And I'm sure that WWE probably booked it that way foolishly. But if you're John Cena, you have to call an audible there. You have the clout where you have the ability to change things. You know what needs to be done.
Like, what the fuck are they going to do to you? Like, oh, that wasn't a part of the script, Cena. You weren't supposed to run after him. Like, what the fuck are they going to do to you? Seriously? Like, that should be something that, if it wasn't obvious to them, it should have been obvious to you playing along with the storyline. But, of course, that would actually require some consistency in the way that John Cena is booked. And apparently that's too much to ask for.
And that's one of the great things that I love about Paul Heyman is that he brings that out of John Cena to where John Cena gets in the ring. He wants to revert back to his jovial self. He wants to laugh and make all these jokes and stuff. But when Paul Heyman gets down to business, he brings John Cena down to business, and John Cena feeds off of that. And that's where we see him at his best. And high praise for Paul Heyman. I don't know how else to say it.
Now, as far as my prediction for this match, John Cena has to lose. See the shirt that I'm wearing right now? This isn't for play or anything like that. He has to lose, and not just that. I hate feeling like I have to force WWE to make certain decisions. Like, I don't want to seem as if I'm holding them hostage or anything like that. I honestly hate that. But the last time I felt this way was at SummerSlam when they booked Brock Lesnar to end the friggin' streak. So I said he has to walk away with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Not only does he have to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Night of Champions, John Cena has to go away for a while.
I mean, you can't even book it any other way. I mean, you had the potential to maybe say Brock Lesnar could come in here and take this lightly or whatever. Not after the promo package they put together for Brock Lesnar when he was talking backstage about all the never give up bullshit and how it's going to be a hurting at Night of Champions. He visibly is apparently, kayfabe-wise, taking this really seriously, and he wants to run John Cena into the dirt. If you have Brock Lesnar in that mode, there's no one in WWE history that should be able to beat him when he's like that. So the same concerns I raised at SummerSlam are the same concerns that I have now, that they might be trying to put John Cena up on a pedestal, make him the greatest champion of all time, and whatnot, and that it'd be real disheartening to see that if it happens that way.
Yeah, and the reason why I say John Cena has to go away for a while, it's because there are only two ways that you can go about this. Either he sticks with the never give up message, and the message fails him once again, or, as you can see on Monday Night Raw, because he said, I am not going to put my hands on Paul Heyman. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of thinking that you're that important, so I'm going to put my hands on you. But he ended up putting his hands on Paul Heyman. So no matter what way WWE goes with this, because they could possibly pull some bullshit where it's like, oh, well, you thought this was a story, but it wasn't exactly that. We can go in that direction. Whether John Cena sticks with never give up at Night of Champions, or he goes in another direction. If he goes in that other direction, that means he compromised his principles. And not only did he compromise his principles, but he compromised his principles and lost. So either way, he has to go away. And I'm not saying that as a John Cena hater. I'm not saying that as somebody who's suffering from Cena derangement syndrome, where every single thing that I see from this guy, it's like, I hate it, and he has to turn heel, and he has to do that. By the way you are telling this story, and that's what I do. I take every single thing that I see from John Cena and view it in that one little situation. From the situation that you have presented us with, if John Cena loses, he has to go away for a while.